There we go. All right, perfect. My bad, I'm back. So Saudi Arabia and Russia extended their supply cuts through the end of the year, stoking fears for larger market deficits in the fourth quarter, right? So there could be even larger deficits happening as we move to the end of the year. Additionally, we talked about this last week as well. Russia recently issued a temporary ban on fuel exports to most countries in order to stabilize this domestic market. So that was diesel and gas. I mean, crude and gas. While U.S. oil production continues to decline, right? So you're seeing this major supply issue coming into play at the end of the year. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that, but kind of stalling a bit due to those inflation concerns and the concerns regarding potentially a lack of demand, right? So I want to look at a couple others over on this side. We had U.S. stock futures were lower on Tuesday, with contracts with three major averages falling 0.6%, reversing Monday's gains as concerns of high inflation for an extended period of time, renewed inflationary pressures stemming from rising oil prices linger. At the same time, Treasury yields at 16-year highs, and the dollar extended gains to the strongest levels in 11 months. Investors will also closely monitor the potential for a government shutdown, as current spending laws are set to expire on September the 30th. On the data front, Conference Board Consumers Confidence, new home sales and housing prices will be in the spotlight. So far on the month, the Dow Jones down 2.1%, S&P lost nearly 3.8%, NASDAQ sank 5%, right? So this potential government shutdown is also in the back of the minds. We'll see what happens and see if they come up with a last minute deal, just like they did the last time. So we'll watch that closely as well. And then I want to take a look at this article on the yen. Benny posted the update from the governor of Japan, or prime minister, sorry, discussing a potential package, including wage increases. So that's something that's happening. There's kind of a back and forth going on between the prime minister, because he's trying to secure his spot because they're not happy with him right now. But then you also have the governor of the Bank of Japan that's also trying to manage the central bank. So the Japanese yen weakened toward 149. Hitting 11-month lows and sinking deeper into levels that could prompt government intervention. Currency depreciated sharply this year as the Bank of Japan remained committed to ultra easy monetary policy, even as the major central banks embarked on an aggressive tightening campaign. The Bank of Japan also dashed hopes that it would hint at an end to its negative interest rate policy when it stuck to a dovish message at its September meeting. The yen's weakness prompted Japan's finance minister to step up warnings of possible currency intervention in recent weeks. Meanwhile, data showed that the country's headline inflation slowed to 3.2% in August from 3.3% in July, while the core inflation stayed above the Bank of Japan's 2% target for the seventh straight month. So there's a back and forth going on here. So we're going to watch that as well to see what happens. We've been talking about the Bank of Japan not making any changes until after they have these wage negotiations, which will start around December timeframe, but might not wrap up until February, March-ish. So we'll see how the data changes, and we'll see how the narrative changes as we get closer to that time frame. Other thing I want us to take a look at is New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar stabilizes as the RBNZ meeting looms. New Zealand dollar stabilized around 5.59 cents as investors look ahead to Reserve Bank of New Zealand's monetary policy next week. Central bank kept interest rates unchanged for a second straight meeting in August, but signaled that it may need to tighten further to bring down inflation. New Zealand's consumer inflation rate posted a 6% in the second quarter, slowing from 6.7 in the preceding quarter, but coming in above the target of 5.9. Meanwhile, the country's economy expanded more than expected in the second quarter after stalling in the preceding quarter, supported by a strong services sector. Still, the Kiwi continued to face downward pressure from strong greenback as the U.S. Federal Reserve delivered a hawkish pause in the September meeting. So we could potentially see, we'll take a look at some of the New Zealand pairs, some pullbacks in the New Zealand as we move closer to their meeting next week. All right, so that's it from trading economics. Over to the calendar. We reviewed this on Saturday, but we'll take a quick look. Governor Yuta spoke yesterday, and what he said in his speech basically was he won't directly target the Forex market in guiding monetary policy, but he's looking for stable, sustainable achievement of 2% inflation, right? And that's when they'll see a change in their yield curve control. Okay, so he really stayed firm on his stance regarding where they are and what they plan to do. Then today, consumer confidence, that's coming in at 10 o'clock. And we have new home sales manufacturing index also at 10 o'clock for the United States. Member Bowman, FOMC member Bowman speaks, and we have monetary policy meeting minutes for the Bank of Japan coming tonight, right? So we'll want to see what's said there. Then the Australian dollar, we got CPI coming in at 9:30, right? So we could get some movement within here, depending on what's said and what's done there. Tomorrow, we have durable goods orders for the United States. Chairman Jordan for the S&B speaks, and then retail sales for the Aussie. We got CPI data. We got PMI data coming in for Euro, dollar, Japan, Thursday and Friday, right? So somewhat of a busy week scattered in, but we got some data coming in that will help us to understand their decisions for the month of September. All right, as we move into October, which will give us some more information, some more insight, and some more volatility. So we get everybody access here. Any questions from a fundamental perspective? No? All right. Benny, good morning, bro.
Ryan, good morning. Good morning, everybody. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, bro. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing pretty good. No jet lag.
Man, I still feel like I'm on the East Coast, so so yeah, so I'm wide awake and bushy tail right now. So we'll see what happens later on today, though.
Glad you made it, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Any thoughts fundamentally?
Oh no, man. You're pretty thorough as always. Just continue to watch those bond yields, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the market has been speculating, cut, a holding of rates and then cut a lot earlier than what's now projected. So little change there. So you see those bond yields going up. Globally, not just the U.S. 10-year,
Yeah.
but across the board. So just continue to watch that, and as a result, you see the stock market going in the opposite direction.
The opposite way.
Yeah, yep. Yeah. Appreciate it, Reese. Appreciate it, man. Coming together. For sure. But yeah, the market is going the opposite direction, but these are the ebbs and flows, right? Nothing that we haven't seen before. So
yeah,
we'll continue to watch.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely appreciate you.
Yep.
And what's causing U.S. oil production to decline? I haven't seen anything specific stating why, but we are in the middle of hurricane season, so we've had some hurricanes um, move through the Gulf of Mexico and things like that. So that has slowed down some of the things there. Um, but I haven't seen anything else come about stating why the production has declined. Um, so I'll keep an eye out for that, and if I see anything, I'll definitely bring that to the table. All right, so let's hop over to the charts and take a look at the dollar and see where we sit, and then we'll rock. So, whoops, didn't mean to press that. Let's come out of there. There we go. All right, so DXY, right? Pressing to the upside. Pressing to the upside. Let's come back to the 4-hour time frame. Boom. Right? We got our 50% retracement pressing to the D extension and that next resistance level. All right. So we'll continue to watch this. And as of right now, the dollar's continuing to run. All right. We'll see how some of the data comes out this week to see if it gives us a retracement at all. But we may not see that until we reach these higher levels here. 13,161 and that D extension there at 13,148, which we just barely missed it on that push up right there on that wick. So we'll watch the dollar bulls as they continue to push, and we'll see if we continue to rise and break this resistance level to keep pushing, or do we get a pullback first? Right. So that's yet to be seen. We'll see what this week has in store for us as we continue to move to the upside for the dollar. All right, so bulls out, and for the foreseeable future, continue to do so. Down on the 1-hour time frame, we do have. Let me run this fib again off the low. Right, we do have this 80-20 scenario. We'll see if that plays out or not, but it's all going to be determined on the data. So once we get to this daily resistance level, we'll see what the data says and see if it gives us a retracement before it continues to the upside. All right, so we'll watch that closely, see where we are. But this also leads into some of the dollar pairs and being in some interesting situations as well. So we will watch and see. I want to just update on a few pairs that we've been sitting in the swings just to see where they are as we manage those trades. So first up is that New Zealand Swissy. Posted an update yesterday in the Discord, but we're moving to the upside. We're just shy of that. This is a 1-hour 382, but on a daily time frame, just keep in mind, right? We're also in an 4-hour. Come back to the daily. Here we go. On the daily, keep in mind that we're also in this 80-20 swing, right? This swing here. So we could have some more upside to go as we continue to break these levels. So coming into this week and moving through the week, we may see a pullback. It's been a long, strong move to the upside, right? We may get a retracement here before we get a continuation, right? Which would set us up nicely for a potential crown pattern if we get it, right? Like so, right? So we'll watch this to see this week if we get a pullback here, right? Maybe after hitting the 1-hour day extension. We'll look at that when we get there. Coming to the 4, here's your 4-hour swing as well. Okay, shallow retracement 118 and 127 zone, moving to the upside beautifully there. Okay, so watching to see, we got a fresh AB boundary on the sub fib, so could again push into that this take profit level here is a 1-hour 382 at 215 pips, right? So if we press into that level and then get a retracement, get that, we'll look for the crown pattern. We'll look for to play that deep retracement and move us back to the upside. Okay, now coming down to the 1. Let's get those fibs to pop back in on the 1. Still no. Let's see. Just run these back off the highs here so we can get them in. There we go. Right, and here's our 1 hour 80-20 scenario. Right, so we're creeping up on TP1 here. Okay, so we'll watch again for retracement and continuation. So if we run that sub fib off the low, there we go. Right, and there's that look that we saw off the 4 hour time frame. Fresh AB boundary. We'll see if we get an 80-20 play there in the short term and get us at TP1. Okay, and it'll give us an opportunity potentially to add back to that in the future if we do get this nice deep retracement, come back and retest some of these levels that we broke through. Okay, so questions on NZD-Swissy?
Nope, it's been a good one.
It has been. It has been. Benny, do you know how to change the price labels here on the right side? Anne's having trouble with her smart trader.
I don't.
I took a
I
quick
play
look
around
at
with it.
this. Okay.
Yeah, I had to play around with it later this morning to see. That's a good question. Never had an issue with it.
Yeah, me either. Me either.
Okay.
We'll take a look. Also, Anne, if you hop into some of the trainings that Smart Trader has, you can just go to the home page and then go to more, right? And I believe it's Smart Hub. You can find some of their trainings and go in and potentially find it that way. So that might be an option for you as well. All right. So, one second. Let me refresh my screen so my things can save for me. Cool. All right, so that's the NZD-Swissy. You're Aussie. So I want us to watch this here. Okay, beautiful move to the downside so far, right? Off the this is on the daily time frame. Beautiful move down, 50% retracement. We've been stalling here between this resistance level at 166 and the support level at 164, right? And we're pressing back to the upside now. So let's watch for this potential push up, and then we'll see if we come back down to the bottom of the range here. All right, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on that, but potentially more downside potential here. So we'll continue to monitor the trades and see how things move. So here on the 4 hour, that 80-20 that we've been playing, there's our move to the downside. Sitting at a 50% retracement level right now, not able to break the support. It's held for the third straight time, right? And we're pressing back to the upside. Okay, so as we press higher, let's watch the higher levels for an opportunity to get back short. All right, coming back down to the one. This is what I'm talking about here, right? I posted this in the Discord for a move to the downside. We didn't break that level. We're pulling back higher. Okay, so let's watch this to see how high this comes, right? If we break above these lower time frame resistance levels here and push deeper, we got to stop outside the A boundary. But let's watch this and see. Starting to get a potential harmonic pattern formation here. So we'll watch and see how deep this pulls, and then see if we get a leg to the downside. Okay, so in another retracement phase, not able to break out of the range. So we'll watch it and we'll see how high the price pushes and see if it gives us another opportunity to get short there. Okay, questions on the Euro Aussie? Just watching this play out here, potential harmonic pattern. Nope. All right, cool deal. So again, trade management at this point, right? Been a great move to the downside, and now we're just watching to see if we're going to get that continuation or not. Okay, boom. Okay, and overall, right? Our capital fib on this high in that range is a 618 retracement off the capital fib, right? So it still keeps us in our range for a move to the downside, as long as it stays inside our capital fib AB boundary. So that's the Euro Aussie. Go to the pound Aussie. You know, some of these pounds, we might start to see some retracements. We'll see. Okay. On the pound Aussie, 80-20 scenario off the daily time frame, moving to the downside, but we're coming into this daily support level at 189.357. Right. So price is trying to slow down, had a strong bullish push in the week last week. Now we're getting a bit of a retracement. So we'll see how high this retracement comes. Again, giving us a high price, we then get back short, right? We know, yes, UK hold rates higher for longer. However, they're leading the charge on kind of the pause of interest rates. So, I see. And there's a percentage option right here in the toolbar. Thanks, Joy. You hit that, and that's what changes it. So we're present to the downside now. We could be in for retracements and a long move down, right? Very little retracement. So let's see if we get a pullback and then a continuation to the short side. Coming down to the 4, here's the 80-20 scenario off the 4-hour that we've been watching, and we have come into still a 50% range, right? Haven't hit that 618 TP2 yet, but we're getting close, inching closer and closer to that level, right? So we'll continue to monitor to see if we're able to break this level at some point, just pressing sideways, trying to get back a little bit bullish on the lower time frames here. Okay, so moving to the downside, again, that's, what is that? Almost 900 pips to the downside. At its lowest point, it was over 900 pips, right? So been a great move. We'll continue to monitor from the higher time frame levels, watching our pullbacks on the lower time frames and potential getting potential opportunities to get back short. Okay, so come down to the 1. This is where we see potential here. Okay, 80-20 scenario, shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone, that level of daily support. So looking to see if we get a pullback in a high price here. Okay, so we'll watch this to see if price does start to make its way back to the upside in the short term, right? We'll see. We got Aussie data coming out this week, so we'll see if there's an impact there that causes this to push back to the upside. Okay, so watch this 80-20 scenario on the 1 hour for the pound Aussie. Any questions here?
Nope.
Cool beans. Yep. Teamwork makes the dream work. It definitely does. Definitely does. Cat Swissy. Been beautiful to the upside so far in this daily 80-20. Right? Total 514 pips. We're about halfway there. Just shy of this daily resistance at 68,295. Look for a retracement here. Right? We got oil pulling back. Right? So let's look to see again, right? Very little retracement, well, no retracement at all, moving to the upside so far. So let's look for a pullback and then a continuation. Okay. As we come down to the 4, we see we created a fresh AB boundary there on the sub fib. Okay. Capital fibs look like that. All right, so there's our 80-20 on the 4-hour time frame. Still quite a ways to go. So as we track these smaller waves, looking for pullbacks and continuations. Okay, low prices to get back long. So we'll continue to watch these smaller waves as they play out, see if we get an opportunity to either add to the trade, or if you've taken profit, another opportunity to enter the trade to the upside. Okay, coming down to the 1, here is your fresh AB boundary. Okay, we didn't get the deep retracement on the last fib, so let's see if we get it on this one. All right, so be patient, allow price to do its thing. Didn't get an 80-20 or haven't gotten an 80-20 yet, approaching the cloud. So we'll see what the higher low looks like in this scenario. Okay, looking for a pullback for a deep price. All right, something like that. Retest previous resistance. Let's see if we're able to hold that as support. Give us that next wave to the upside. Okay, so that's the CAD Swissy. Questions there? Nope. Okay. Euro New Zealand. We read the article on the New Zealand dollar and looked at that New Zealand Swissy, this Euro NZD, right? Great move to the downside so far, coming into daily support at 176, right? 176, see if we get a retracement, high price, and a potential continuation to the downside, okay? Christine Lagarde, she spoke yesterday. She said that they're not talking about rate cuts and they'll hold rates higher for longer. So we'll see how that narrative continues to evolve as the ECB continues to do their thing. Okay, coming down to the 4, boom. There's that move to the downside on the 4. 50% retracement coming into that daily support level. Okay, so continue to watch again, right? Strong move to the downside. Could we get a retracement, especially with the New Zealand meeting coming next week? Maybe we get a retracement and a high price leading us to potential rate hike for the New Zealand dollar, right? So coming down to the 1, this is where we sit. Just shy of the D extension on the 1 hour, okay? Just shy of the D extension on the 1 hour. We got that pullback to retest that support level, press down. So let's look for that D extension on the 1 hour to be achieved and tag that daily support level and then look for a retracement opportunity. Okay, so monitoring that one still moving in a fun way. So we'll watch it and see what that retracement looks like once we get to the support level. Okay, so keep your eyes on that, continue to manage that trade to the downside. Questions here? All right, it's 511 pips to the downside off of my first entry there. Nope, no questions. Cool deal. Let's take a look at some more of these pound pairs. Pound CAD. This one has been a crazy move to the downside, man. Previously, we were looking at continuations to the upside, getting to the D extension. We ran into these resistance levels, and it's just been straight down, right? Just been straight down. So we got daily support coming in at 162, 192. Okay, so we'll see what happens when we get around that range. Maybe we get a retracement beforehand, but this has been just straight down. So at some point, we got to get a retracement. Okay, price is definitely overextended. So as you come down to the 4, right, we're starting to move into the 118, 127 zone here, starting to potentially settle in. So we'll watch this to see. We didn't get right off the last fib sequence. We didn't get a deep retracement, shallow retracement, just continue to extend to the D extension. So we'll watch here, especially with oil starting to retrace a bit, see if we get a retracement in these Canadian crosses as well, right? Potential pullback, deep retracement, then an opportunity to get back short. So we'll watch this. We'll look at the markup on the 1 hour time frame as well, but we'll watch to see if we get confirmation of a move back to the upside. Okay, something like that there. Coming down to the 1, and this is where we sit. I ran trend lines to the downside. Also, I have my cloud on as well, right? Just watching and monitoring this. 80-20, pressing lower, just continuing to slide down. So we'll wait for our confirmations here in order to enter this, right? Strong bullish trend line break, or, right, if you want to be a little more conservative, a break of the cloud, right? Once we get that, then we'll look for that retracement opportunity to come there, right? But we're in that 118, 127 zone, similar to that 4-hour on that last fib sequence. We did not get that deep retracement there. Okay, so continue to monitor this. We talked about it on Saturday, still sliding to the downside. So we'll watch and see how deep this pushes if we get to the D extension and this daily support before we get a retracement. Okay, so wait for your confirmations on this one, but keep your eyes on it. Questions on the pound CAD?
Nope.
Cool deal. Let's I mentioned some of these dollar pairs coming into interesting situations. So this pound dollar is one of them, even though we're starting to break this daily support level. Right. So here on the daily time frame, we just wicked that 382 level there. We've been pressing to the downside, and we're breaking this level here at 121. Right. We closed below this level, definitely headed lower to 120. Okay, so watch this and see how this evolves here. We're potentially looking at a crown pattern on the pullback on the lower time frames. We're not getting none of that, right? The dollar bulls are out and they're continuing to ride. So we'll watch and see. Coming down, right? This is on the 4-hour. We got an 80-20 scenario, but we're just running down. Okay, so we could likely get to that D extension before anything happens in this next support level at 120. Okay, so trying to close strong below. We'll see if that occurs before we get a retracement. Okay, that level isn't holding at the moment. So we'll see if something happens throughout the day today that causes that to shift. And then down on the 1, there's your 80-20 scenario there as well. Right, and you see on the 1-hour time frame, we broke that level, strong bearish candle, and a retest. So we're likely going to, we might just continue to the downside here, right? Bearish break, retest. So yeah. Continue to sit to the side here, and we'll watch to see if this just continues to run. That's what we might see on this one. So keep your eyes on it, see what happens. If we get a turnaround and some confirmations to be met, then we'll look at it. But right now, it looks like it's going to run off the lower time frames. So be patient there. Be patient on the pound dollar. Questions here? Nope. All right, cool. Come back over here, look at this pound New Zealand dollar. Right, this is the look on the 1-hour time frame. We'll walk back to the higher time frames as well, but here's a potential 80-20 scenario. We're sitting at a weekly support level at 204. Okay, we'll see if we get a bounce and a push to the upside. Okay, so we'll watch this closely as that develops. NZD cross, right? So we might see a retracement there, giving us a bit of relief and a high price to then get back short. So coming back to the higher time frames, this is where we are in this, right? Just shy of a 382, been a strong push to the downside, right? We know that New Zealand strength, so pullback will be warranted, right? Weekly support level, pullback is due. So we'll look to see if we get that before we get that continuation down. Coming to the 4, right? Here's your 80-20 scenario on the 4. Mm. 80-20 scenario on the 4, right? Take these sub fibs off. Boom. Right? So sitting at a 50% retracement level right now. And you see very little pullbacks here. Very little. So see if we get a high price and a continuation. Okay. Beautiful move to the downside here. Over 1,000 pips to the downside. Potentially more to go. So we'll watch that one there. So coming back to that 1 hour. Right. Coming back to that 1 hour, running these fibs off the high. Boom. That's where we sit. All right. So let's watch this one, see if we get our confirmations on a retracement opportunity here on the pound New Zealand. Still got a bearish cloud. So we'll see what transpires as we move through the week this week. Okay. Questions on the pound New Zealand? Oh, cool.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
I think they may hold, Rich. I think they might fall in line. What do you
You think
think?
so?
I
So
think so. I don't know. Everybody else is kind of that would be kind of odd, but I don't know though. But that would be kind of odd being that everybody else is holding.
that's my initial thought, but they also had their economy continues to expand.
True.
And so that's the part that kind of has me stuck. And looking at the potential for it, at least, because they still have some data coming in as far as that expansion goes.
Yeah.
So with inflation still above their target and some of that data still leaning in the other direction, it's going to be interesting to see. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be close. I'm leaning more bearish, but um, I'm leaning more towards them holding, but I'm entertaining the idea of them to raise that rate. But
Yeah.
but maybe we get consolidation this week and they do hold it, and that's the catalyst for the retracement.
Correct.
So maybe that's what happens. Maybe we don't get it early, we get it later on.
Yeah.
I follow that.
Yeah. I don't. I just have a like them being the oddball out of everybody. And
Yeah,
but
and that not always typical.
yeah, I can't call it. So we'll see. Should be interesting.
Yeah. I dig it. I dig it. Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. Mm. Let's see what other data we were able to see, we're able to find. See if we can get us more insight on that. Cadian. So we were looking for kind of a deeper retracement to come before we got this continuation, but still tracking to the upside here. We broke this weekly resistance level and we're pulling back a bit now, right? But we pushed into this monthly level at 110, right? So we're breaking some key levels here, slowing down a bit, but breaking key levels and moving to the upside on this Cadian, which is expected, especially with um, governor doubling down on their stance of continuing their path until they see the data that they need to. So here's a look on the 4 hour, right? Off that 618 retracement, that 110 level that we're bouncing off of. We got a D extension at 111, right? So we're pulling back now. We'll look to see what catalyst causes price to continue pushing to the upside in favor of this Canadian dollar, right? On this 1 hour time frame, we're looking at over the weekend a potential for this crown pattern. We're looking for a deeper retracement to come. We didn't get the deep retracement, right? Price stayed shallow here and continued. Still gave us crown pattern. It just didn't give us a deep retracement that we wanted to see, right? And we talked about had another fib running into the upside. I thought, let's see. Track these out. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe that's our fit. Oops. Huh. Okay. I'm tripping. Nope, that's it. Okay. That's our fib to the upside. So that works then, right? We're looking for that deeper retracement. We didn't get it. Now there's that fib there. Pull that out. So there's your AB boundary off the D extension that was achieved off of the center tip 8-6 retracement. All right, push to the D extension. So the price moved in the direction that we thought it was going to, just didn't give us the retracement that I was looking for to add an entry there to that price. So, but tracking to the upside, now we're in this new ABC sequence, got a fresh AB boundary, and we're pulling back, right? And we're pulling back. So look for price to come back down into the zone, and then low price, get back long, right? No changes from the Bank of Japan, so going to continue to ride with the Canadian dollar here to the upside after the retracement. So looking for a low price to get back long. Okay, so be patient on this one. Look for that. Questions on the CAD yen?
Definitely looking to stay long on those yens, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I was
That's just fundamentally is just they're not really giving anything to convince me otherwise. I mean, I guess they're jawboning a lot about, the speed in which, investors are making a run on that yen, but I mean they're
but
looking at going into 2024 now, right? So
yeah, and even from that perspective, they the governor hasn't spoken up much on that. Um, the talk, a lot of it has just been from the prime minister trying to protect the seat. So even with
yep,
that, there's the Bank of Japan is still standing firm on their stance. You know me, I'm always looking for a reason for this one to turn around. I'm antsy when it comes to this and the larger potential over the long term, but I'm with you. They're not changing that stance. Definitely looking into 2024 uh, before they're looking at shifting that. So I'm with you 100%. Just finding low prices to get back long on these.
absolutely.
Yeah. Questions on this CAD, Ian? Oh, all right. Cool deal. Take a quick look at this dollar yen, and then what I'll do is I'll open up the floor for any pairs that you guys have your eyes on. So this dollar yen, let's bring it back to the daily. That's what we're tracking it off of, right? Boom. Pressing to the upside, working to get to that D extension, right? 148, 857. Bank of Japan has said they they don't want any impulsive moves. You haven't really got impulsive moves, right? There's been small trickles to the upside, but still moving to the upside nonetheless, right? Every now and then you get a little bit of a retracement, and then you move into the upside. The other thing they said is the high 148s, low 150s, where we're getting to that level as well. Okay, so again, this 151, 941 is in sight. Just above that at 152 is the D extension. So that's what we're tracking here. That's what we're looking at. And that could put us right in the range of end of the year, beginning of next year, and we hear the talk start picking up a little bit more, right? So pressing to the upside, man, and continue to do it in a relatively consistent manner, not necessarily strong impulsive moves, but in a consistent manner, which is allowing for the Bank of Japan just to sit back and allow it to go. Okay. Thought I had another fib on this. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So here's an 80-20 scenario on the 4, and we press to the D extension. Okay. So just continue to rise. Just continue to rise. We're stalling a bit here at this daily level, but that's expected. So we may get pulled back to the trend line, just like we did here. And then that continuation long. Okay. So that's what we're expecting, is just continuation to the upside. So if we do get pullbacks of any sort, it's just low price to get back long until the Bank of Japan tells us that they're ready to start changing their stance. Okay. And trust me, I've been a hawk in Japan time, just trying to see what's happening, trying to keep us on top of it. But they're not ready yet. They're not ready yet. So here we are on the 1, pushing into that 118, 127 zone, but a scenario where I don't think we get a deep retracement unless something drastic happens with the dollar. That would be the only thing that will cause a deep retracement, in my opinion. Right? I'm looking at just a trend line push and then a continuation long. Okay, so that's the dollar yen. Questions here? Benny, you got your
Nope.
eyes on anything, bro?
No, nope. That's just the ones that we've been posting, like kind of the trade updates on the ones that we're sitting in.
Mm-hmm.
So just continue to monitor those. I mean, once we get in trades, a lot of times we're sitting in them for a while. And then just continue to ride those yens out. Like, I've learned my lesson from the first half of the year, where I
Yeah,
think,
heck yeah.
just trading in and out of them instead of just sitting in them, but that's just, I didn't know as much as I do now in regards to the stubbornness of the Bank of Japan, and how they
Man.
handle their monetary policy.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can get caught up in all the rhetoric and speculation surrounding things, instead of just, I mean, but it's just like with the Fed, right? Like, don't bet against the Fed. And I hope that, one of the things that we're all learning is that monetary policy is strong. And a lot of times when they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of the, investors in Wall Street, a lot of times like to take the opposite angle or try to speculate when something is going to happen and place their bets. But I mean, a lot of these central banks have been holding pretty steady in regards to when they say they're going to do something, they're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth, man. That's the truth. Definitely
Yep.
learned the lesson.
Oh
Definitely learned
yeah.
the lesson. So it is
Oh yeah.
definitely tested, challenged me in the patience category. Because
Yeah.
I've been impatient with these, and I've lost trades because of that impatience and trying to seek that change, instead of just allowing them to continue to ride, man, and sitting in those. We talk about all the time, and I, if we would have just looked at that, we could have been sitting in these since the beginning of the year, literally,
Yep.
really since the
Yep.
beginning of the year, and just sitting long.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's not even though a lot of times Wall Street seems to be the speedboat, when it comes to central banks and monetary policies and things playing out, it's more of a barge, right? You know,
Yeah,
so it's just that slow effect, and then really focusing on, which is why we've been hitting home a lot with these fundamentals, the GDP, that trade balance, that inflation, those interest rates. Like, it's what's really driving things. It's what's really driving things, and it helps you to really block out a lot of the noise that you see, in the markets, both technically and then a lot of the rhetoric that's out there. If you just look at your charts, like, it's just been moving. Other currencies against that yen, they have just been steadily moving up. So just lessons learned.
big time, big time. since the beginning of the year. Up January. Right? That one almost straight up. One pullback. So we're gonna keep that in mind as we move through this fourth quarter and into the beginning of the year. So appreciate that, bro. The floor is open. If you guys have any pairs you want to take a look at it, drop those into the chat for me. Got about maybe take a look at one or two before we wrap it up. Gold. Ooh. Let's look at it. Let's look at gold. Let's see. Sitting in this range a little bit, right? I'll take these off for a second. But daily time frame, this is where we are, 618 retracement. We're just hovering at this daily support level at 1902. Right, coming back to it again. We'll see if it holds. But we're kind of caught in this range. Let me drop this daily level in here. There we go. Boom. Right, got daily resistance there, and we're just trapped in this range right now. Right, they're really just moving sideways here. So we'll watch to see if this daily level continues to hold and see if we get another push to the upside. But we're just range bound to 618 retracement on the daily time frame. Okay. Coming down to the 4. Let's see here. These are going to come back down. Yep. So we're sitting on the other side of this trend. And you see, right, it feels getting taken out in both directions. So here we are on the 4-hour. Whoops. Here we are on the 4. AB boundary. Boom. We're just trapped. We got a 618 retracement, not able to break out to the downside. Pushing back down to the daily support level, but just trapped in the range. So let's look and see what happens at 1902.35, right? And see if we get a bounce off that level again and push back to the top of the range. Yeah, that is what I'm looking for here. So this fib is going to come off the high. Maybe not. Yep. So we're just sitting tight here, right? Headed down, we got a fresh AB boundary here. Maybe we get an 80-20 on the 1-hour time frame as we push that daily support level. So watch for that. But outside of that, we're just range bound. Okay. So let's see if we get another push like that. Give us that 80-20 opportunity. That's what I see on gold. Rangy, but on the daily time frame, you got a 618 retracement in line with daily support, and we're just bouncing back and forth. So at some point we might get a catalyst for this to run to the upside. It's just not yet. Just not yet. So we'll watch that and see how it goes. Questions on this gold? Oh, not anymore. What were you looking at, Joy?
I was trying to play the range this morning. I seen that my new fib on my 1-hour didn't come in yet, and I seen that deactivated fib. But yours is activated, but I probably just need to update my charts. And
yeah, I thought we ran and pumped in.
I need to and I was looking to see whether or not if it was an 80-20 play because it was sitting in a good range for the daily, but Like Benny said, don't doubt the Fed. So long as the Fed is tripping, I don't think I'm gonna get and go.
Yeah. Just sit tight for a minute and see what happens. Yeah, just monitor.
Yep.
Just monitor. Good deal. Appreciate you. All right. Any questions about anything that we covered this morning, good people? Nope. Benny, anything before we wrap it up, bro?
No, sir, man. Great session. You know, definitely with the fundamentals this morning. There's a lot out there. You covered them super well. And you can just see, man, patience pays. Just drip those trades in and let them run. It takes a while to get there, but
Listen,
you know, it's a worthwhile endeavor in the long run. I just think it plays out a lot better.
it absolutely is, man. It absolutely is. Patience pays. That's the lesson of the day. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys have a phenomenal Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Bye.
Welcome.